Hey everyone, welcome back once again to the B-Movie Bunker, and we're keeping the cheesy, campy train going with 1985's The Stuff, brought to us by Larry Cohen, who's written a lot more than he's directed, but this is classic 80s type stuff. I mean, this movie is very 1980s. What is The Stuff? The Stuff is this great new food item, kind of like a yogurt type thing, and everyone loves it, and it's awesome, and it's amazing. What is it really? Some miners discover this white stuff bubbling up out of the ground, and of course, what do you do when you see white goo coming up from the ground? You try it, and you taste it good. But actually, it takes you over, and it controls you, and howls you out inside, and makes you into, this fucking zombie-like thing. This movie, it's corny as hell. I mean, and it's very cheesy, and at times, it feels very, almost a little rushed at times, but the cast you have in this, I mean, these are people where if you saw them, if you watch this movie, you go, I know that guy and that guy and that guy. I mean, you got, Michael Moriarty, who's been in a bunch of stuff, most notably that I remember him from. I was remember from the Pale Rider. You've got Sorvino in here, and you've got Danny Aiello, and Garrett Morris from Saturday Night Live. So there's a lot of faces that you recognize if you watch as many movies as I do. And so the story follows this young boy and Moriarty, who plays like he's like an industrial spy. It's the two of them who find out the truth about the stuff, and then trying to stop it, and going around trying to stop people from eating and exposing the truth about the stuff. As I said, it's corny as hell, and I mean this movie really, if you watch it, this is definitely it's not just simply this movie about this goop that controls you. It's really kind of it addresses like American consumerism. The fact that there's so much of that. It's the advertising that is pushing this stuff. Yes, the stuff is super addictive. When you try it, you're hooked. But it's also the fact that people got to try it, which means the ad machine going and just pushing this stuff out. And some of the ad stuff they do for it is really really corny. But the thing is that it's corny, but the 80s in general were really corny a lot of times. That's just kind of how the 80s were. And it's not just American consumerism. This, at least the impression I get, is it's kind of, this is the 80s, man. This is anti-communism. The stuff basically, controls you and makes you, you act like everyone else. And it controls you, and it eliminates kind of who you are as an individual. And that's, what is more communist than, the loss of self and the loss of individualism. So there's that. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is very much, kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers crossed with The Blob and a shopping mall. It's kind of those three things running, because there's nothing that symbolizes American consumers in the 80s more than the shopping mall. And then of course The Blob, because it's this white stuff that flows everywhere. And Invasion of the Body Snatchers, well, I really hadn't explained this. I should have explained it. But that's what this movie is, maybe a little Invasion USA, if they had thrown Chuck Norris in to punch them. Which you do have some soldiers punching and shooting stuff, so you get that. As I said, the movie's corny, it's cheesy, but it's a classic from the 80s, and it's been I probably haven't watched it since I was probably 15, 16 years old, so it's been a long time since I've seen this one. And does it hold up? Well, not fantastically, but that's the thing you have to accept. With these movies from the 80s, they didn't have the effects that we have now. They didn't have the budgets we have now. And yes, there are some great films from the 80s that, still hold up. Not everyone's going to. But this one's still fun. You have to take it for what it is. This is not a movie trying to be serious. It's almost more in the vein of like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes type of thing. Except that instead of tomatoes killing people, it's yogurt. Which, it makes you regular. At least that, it flushes out your system. Really flushes out your system. So that's all I got for this one. Till next time, stay safe out there in the wasteland, folks. And watch what you eat.